we're going to do a shout out to Nancy's Honey Yogurt, which, by the way, is, I believe, affiliated with Ken Kesey's farm. It's out of Eugene, Springfield, Oregon. And anyway, yogurt is got certain bacterias in it that are alive, and they in the ingredients it lists them, and it makes them it's basically called the flora inside your body, and when you eat or ingest bacterial agents, it kills all those, and there's good and bad flora in your digestive system, and these products go in there, and they basically increase the symbiotic relationship that allows different cells and things to grow, and you're actually growing living cultures in your body, and different molds that live in your body that put off different bacteria that are useful for genetic reproduction and cellular growth to fight off bacteria and different diseases. All synthetic immunizations and let me see, I can't think of the word, are made from molds. You have strawberries have a mold on them, and I can't think of the name of the mold that attacks the specific molds attack specific foods, and so by ingesting strawberry, you're probably going to ingest that mold, and penicillin, for instance, and it's going to add up over time in your body and create an immune system that's going to be beneficial. And when we culture it in a laboratory, we make a penicillin or antibiotic, streptomycin, Kinfleck. There's different things that are created from extreme resins and or bacteria over time, concentrated over extreme situations in zero temperatures or extreme heat temperatures or extreme toxic environments is where and how we create our antibacterial properties. And so when you put growth hormones, Nancy's doesn't use growth hormones. You're going to read things on the back of a lot of products where it says pledged care, our milk comes to you from local. We choose not to use RBGH, an artificial growth hormone. Artificial growth hormones are products that have been manufactured in a laboratory to increase certain cellular growth in theory humans. It hasn't really been regulated for humans as much as it's created and used in the feed lot for cows and animals, and certain unscrupulous doctors and governments use a lot of animal drugs specific for animals on humans, and growth hormones is a very huge, long-lived, controversial subject that's usually only allowed in third world countries like Puerto Rico. So this chicken, Tyson's chicken, for instance, has had many a lawsuit against them for growth hormones in their chicken, which have created in places where their plants are in Puerto Rico have outbreaks of men with female body parts and stuff from their growth hormones. It's such high concentrations in the animals that they feed and in the feed, and it gets polluted back into the water and into the agricultural lots, and then people drink it just out of the rivers and everything. It's in such high concentrations that a normal citizen in Puerto Rico has genetic alterations. Children are being genetically modified strictly by living next to Tyson and or being related to people who work there, because they're in such close proximity to the growth hormones, are in such large concentrations. They're literally having breast and other sexual organ problems for males and females. Specifically, growth hormones have been used in our country and or in the world for a long time, with very controversial results. I personally had a friend who was murdered by the federal government for growth hormones, specifically used, like I said, in third world countries or poor people. Mothers in hospitals are usually victims. Poor welfare mothers and stuff are usually the test subjects in America on a lot of these sort of questionable surgical and medical operations involving medicines and hormonal growth activity for their children. The growth hormones side effects can result in equivalent of the only real human cases of mad cow's disease are from growth hormones. Mad cow's disease, translated in the scientific world, is basically a brain. The only cannibals in old times were the only people that would get these sort of diseases. Now we have it in humans because we fed them things that were just never in nature. They were created in a laboratory and force-fed into animals, and then we eat those animals, and we eat these genetic mutations that are created into what's called medicines. And growth hormones have made people sick and given them mad cow's disease, and when they catch these diseases, they literally have less than a year to live. Their body and their mind and their liver dilapidates. They just gets destroyed. They liquefy their whole body. They lose motor control within so many months, and they're basically a big physical puddle for the year or so that they're alive. It's a horrible way to die. Growth hormones are strictly a vanity drug and or prescription. It's a very rare case scenario that a person actually gets prescribed them for a medical need. There's a lot of children that are born the size of a teaspoon or something, and those are not the people. That's not what growth hormones are for. They're strictly for used in a medicinal medicinal or sports training or weightlifting. It's a pseudoscience at best.